Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another video. It is me, once again, screaming into the void of the internet. There's something that I wanted to talk about today, and it's about this trend that I see this generation always doing. And in typical fashion, they look at things from a very biased point of view and stuff like that, and people always tab. I've just noticed that it's like within human nature to be biased to some extent, right? It's called Dual Income No Kids. Now, I recently did a rant discussion, whatever you want to call it, on parenting, and I didn't really mention dual income no kids, but I'm seeing like instances where like something tragic happens to someone, and they'll sit around here and say, oh, they had a girlfriend, or oh, she had a husband and she didn't have kids and stuff like that. Oh, what an absolute genetic waste. Like, that's something that's going around, and I feel like that's mainly due to the fact that, I'm gonna be honest, it's mainly men that are acting as though having children is some grandiose accomplishment or something like that, because it's like they're trying to associate crap back to like animal kingdom crap, as though like we really can't just pop out kids. Because I don't know about you, but most of those guys that are in that position, don't exactly have good childhoods. So their mere existence could be surmised as like someone who wasn't usually the most qualified, wasn't really the most suited, still just got with someone else and popped out a kid. And the thing is this, like, there's this massive idea that everything that what we do, for the most part, is motivated via, like, sex, for at least for men, right? And getting in between, like, some legs. And whilst I do agree that that is true for most, that is not true for everyone. And I have noticed that the trend is people who have done incredible things, for the most part, and have become icons and stuff, they usually didn't have kids. And even if they did have kids, they didn't really give the kids enough attention because they were too busy giving, their work their attention. The Wright brothers, for example, I don't remember if they stayed completely unmarried. I think that they did. I know was it Thomas Edison? I think it was Thomas Edison. I know he didn't have kids. Nikola Tesla. Was it Thomas Edison? Or maybe I'm thinking about Tesla. It's either one of those, but I'll look into it, if I'm mistaken. My apologies, I'll go ahead and look at the history again, but there are quite a few historical figures that accomplished pretty crazy things that did not have kids. And they left their mark on the world far more than just popping out babies. Because what I've noticed is that the people that say this, they talk about, like, genetic legacy and all this stuff. Throw that argument in their face. Tell them right now, give you the names of 3 great grand relatives, the grandpa, grandma, and maybe like an aunt. Let's hear it. They won't be able to say anything because they don't know. Because listen, the fact of the matter is, you're going to be forgotten. Whether you can make peace with that or not, you're going to be forgotten. Even if you have kids, like, even if you're a good grandparent, that doesn't guarantee. My bad. There's bugs everywhere, so I'm just getting them off of me. It doesn't guarantee that, like, they're going to want a steady relationship with you, and they're going to want to, I guess, give a rat's arse if you die or not. There's plenty of people that never met their grandparents. This idea that somehow you popping out a baby means that you'll be remembered. You're not going to be remembered, dude. And even if you are, you're going to be remembered for a season. People are more so remembered through their actions, like more so than like genetic kids and stuff like that. Because here's the thing. Let's say that you are very famous and you have a kid. Most of the time, people are going to care about, you more than a kid. Bruce Lee has long since passed. Okay, that is a fact. Bruce Lee has long since passed. Bruce Lee, to this day, is still immortalized and remembered. Bruce Lee did have a kid, but unfortunately, he did pass away as well. But even then, let's just be honest here. When you look at games like Tekken, and they have Bruce Lee. When you look at games like Liu Kang, And even he is kind of like modeled, not completely, but some of his moves are modeled after Bruce Lee. You know, like, when you're looking at a lot of these games that'll have like some kind of character that is based off of Bruce Lee, Bruce Lee has become immortalized for what he has done for martial arts. You know what I mean? So the idea that like you having a kid is somehow going to beat him, and then there's like the vice versa of that. Maybe your parent is like completely unnoticed, and you know the kid, like you, becomes successful. Air quote successful, because success is, I hate the way that humans define success, especially in the West. You know, but let's say that you become successful. Are they going to give a rat's arse about the parent? Are they going to remember the parent, or are they going to remember you? Let's just be real. You know, this idea that you should be afraid to be forgotten is just insane, because at the end of the day, most of the people have been forgotten. Most people, to be honest, did not get a chance to have kids. And even if they did, they didn't live. A lot of people have been wiped out genetically speaking, air quotes, you know. Because it's pathetically easy to do. Like, if there's a really bad virus, not COVIDs, relax, YouTube, but if there's a really bad virus, like the Black Plague or something like that, you know, then trust and believe, it's not hard to just go from person to person, because you want to know who's usually going to die the fastest? Families. Because they're in close proximities of each other, and so it's just a nice cesspit to breed the virus. It is what it is. This is not to say that having families is a bad thing. This is just me being completely honest. Most people's genetic history is gone because they didn't freaking survive. You know, you might have people within the family to an extent, but like direct families and stuff like that, like that's usually gone. There's plenty of guys that didn't get a chance to have kids, girls that didn't have a chance to have kids. It's just, it is what it is. And unfortunately, there's this massive trend of this feeling as though you are supposed to be relevant, you're supposed to have a place and stuff like that. And I always laugh at it, because isn't it hilarious that you're in a day and age of very narcissistic, nihilistic people, and yet they still say, okay, as nihilistic as life is, I'm entitled to have kids. You know, they're absolutely nihilistic. They feel like there is no joy in life, and yet they still think that they should have kids. Listen, if you yourself don't know how to go through life, why in the heck are you going to take on the responsibility to try and direct of another person through theirs? You might say, oh, well, I'm not going to do that because my kids are going to be free. And no, they will not. Because that is not how humans are wired. Humans look at what other people do, and they learn that that is the norm. No matter how effed up it is, they learn that that is the norm. They can break out of that once they, you know, get older, but for the most of the younger years, I want to say like through, you know, baby age to like, say, sometimes the 20s, if not the 30s for some, they're stuck in that. They're stuck in that. It is what it is, you know? There are people that have broken the cycle, but they're usually stuck in it. And so when you say that, oh, your kid's going to be free and you're not really going to have any control over them, okay, well, trust and believe. The school, the school will shape their minds. Their friends will shape their minds. Social media will shape their minds. Like, it doesn't matter what you think. They're going to be warped in some way. That is just part of the process if you choose to have kids. And I think that people really need to start understanding what kids are. You are literally choosing, you know, this person has no say of their own, to bring them into the world, and they have no choice but to be reliant on you. And you will usually have a massive impact in how many opportunities they have, how easy their life can be or how rough it can be, you know. And you will have the opportunity to offset or increase any kind of woes or sorrows that occurred during their life, which is guaranteed, you know. Because listen, I'm not one of these people that says, oh, life's meaningless because it's so hard and it's awful and stuff. I'm not one of those people. I don't think so. I don't think that life's meaningless, but I think the world that humanity has created, the structure that it has made is absolute. It's a complete failure, massively. Because people as a whole naturally are pretty effed up. Humans as a whole are pretty corrupt. You know, I'm willing to say that I know it's in me, and that's why I have to resist that nature every day. You know, I have to willingly choose to not act like an arsehole to other people when they don't deserve it, of course. You know, if you deserve it, then that's different. You know, as the good book says, do unto others. And people don't really read into that, and they say, hey, listen, if someone's treating you like dog crap, how do you think they want to get treated? You know, do unto others. So if he's doing that to you, go ahead and give that right back to him. That's how I say. You know, but I will never proactively be that to anyone. You know, unfortunately, that sentiment is not shared. You know, people will justify their reasons, because I've noticed something with people. You know, people want to have the privileges of mankind, you know, when they're going to do something really stupid. But then they want to deflect the accountability of the privilege of mankind when they see that there are some consequences. Because then they want to say, oh, well, I'm just an animal, I can't help it. You ever notice that? It happens quite a lot. Oh, it's drizzling. I'm going to have to try and speed this up. But, it really just disturbs me that there's this pattern of people that just seem to think that the only thing that you should be doing in life is just popping out babies left and right. Because here's the grand question, folks. For any cocksucker that feels that way, whether you're a man or a woman. Oh, I might need to take some cover. It's drizzling. Do you have some baby money? You know? Do you have baby money? Because if you don't, then realistically speaking, you aren't really in a position to say anything. Just give me one sec, folks. Give me one sec. Alright, folks, my bad. Had to get out of that rain. Started pouring. I think Miami's in a bit of a hurricane, or just a tropical storm. It's been raining like all day yesterday and today. So, I don't know how long this is gonna persist. But I'll go ahead and try and close this, because I don't know how long this rain is gonna last, and I don't know if it's gonna get heavier. If you don't have the kids' money, if you don't have money to actually properly raise the kids, because if I'm not mistaken, the cost of kids has gone up pretty high. You know, like back when I was in high school, they said like what on average it was like $250,000 to raise a kid, $250,000. That's gone up. You know, good old inflation and all kinds of other stuff. So you gotta look at the facts and say, okay, listen, am I in a position where I can actually raise a kid, you know, comfortably? And if the answer to that is no, then the least that you should do is not have them. If you want to have them later, that's different, you know? But I'm going to go ahead and close it here, because I don't even know if you can hear me anymore. So, hope I kind of made a point. I'll see you next time. God bless. Take care.